You lot went wild when we first showed you the all-new Citroen e-C4 in our COVID-restricted walk-around video. So I can only imagine your excitement now that we got the car for a real-life driving video review. To recap, it's based on the same mechanical platform as the Peugeot e-2008 and the DS3 Crossback E-TENSE. It shares those cars' 50 kilowatt-hour battery and it's got a similar 200-odd mile range. So should you shun its French siblings for what is clearly a quirkier and cooler alternative? Let's find out. As mentioned, the new Citroen C4 and e-C4 shares much with the Peugeot 2008 and DS3 Crossback. Like those cars, the Citroen is powered by a 134 brake horsepower electric motor, drawing power from a 50 kilowatt-hour battery. This gives a driving range of 270 miles on a single charge, a task that Citroen says will take around 7.5 hours from a home wall box. Hook up to a 100 kilowatt rapid charger and the e-C4 will go from 0 to 80% in just 30 minutes. Now, the last time we were this close to the new Citroen C4, we weren't actually allowed to touch it, but thankfully Citroen has relaxed the rules a little bit, allowing us a proper good look at this car inside and out. Now, if the original Nissan Juke was anything to go by, some people are going to absolutely love this car and some people will hate it. But there's absolutely no denying that this car's bold front end gives it a great look and it's complemented by this coupe style roofline. The rear end gives it plenty of presence. Now, you guys can get a good feel for the styling from flicking through an online image gallery, but what you can't tell is what it's like inside, both in terms of quality and design. Let's take a look. Well, now that we're finally allowed to take a seat in here and have a proper poke around of all the seats, screens and surfaces, I'm pleased to report it's pretty nicely built. It's perhaps not quite as premium as a BMW, Audi or even a Mazda, but do you know what? It'll come as a pleasant surprise to existing Citroen owners. Everything is digital and futuristic, apart from, crucially, the air conditioning controls. The heating is operated via these rotary dials and it's dead easy to operate on the move, and the controls feel solid to the touch. Every version gets this 10-inch screen, and while it perhaps isn't the slickest setup on the market, every model comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. There are loads of cool little storage solutions as well. There's this cubby under here with a movable floor, this wireless charging tray above it, and saving the best until last, there's actually a tablet tray on the passenger side. Now, I will reserve judgment on whether that is useful or something of a dangerous distraction for the driver. Speaking of standard kit, 3 trim levels will be offered for the e-C4. Sense Plus, Shine and Shine Plus, with the entry-level Sense only being offered in petrol and diesel form. LED headlights, 18-inch alloys, rear parking sensors, dual-zone climate control and Citroen's progressive hydraulic cushions, comfort-orientated suspension system are included across the range. To that, the e-C4 Sense Plus adds a head-up display, sat-nav, LED interior lighting, an auto-dimming rear-view mirror and 2 USB sockets, as well as rear parking sensors and power-folding door mirrors. The e-C4 Shine costs almost £1,000 more and gets dark tinted rear windows, extra safety kit, plus keyless entry and start, automatic high beams, front and rear parking sensors and a heated steering wheel. Top of the range Shine Plus is priced at £31,330 and features a premium sound system, black leather, a power adjustable driver's seat, heated front seats, 4 USB sockets and a wireless smartphone charging pad. But here we are, finally in the driving seat of the new Citroen e-C4. And if you've driven a Peugeot e-2008 or a DS3 Crossback E-TENSE, it'll feel very familiar, certainly in terms of performance. And that's no bad thing, because the motor in these cars strikes a really nice balance. It's not too fast and it's certainly not too slow. You still get that characteristic shove when you put your foot down that you expect from an electric car, but it doesn't make you feel queasy every time you accelerate. But while some of the Citroen's rivals handle quite neatly, even some of those cars that this shares so many parts with, the Citroen has been tuned for comfort. Now, around town that is perfect because it irons out all of those little lumps and bumps that might disturb you when you're crawling around in slow traffic. But on the open road, things do feel a little bit soft and sometimes a little bit unwieldy. But the trade-off is a really refined, comfortable and calm place to be. It's a really relaxing car to drive, and we're doing just over 60 miles an hour now, and it's just really quiet. You're certainly not going to get worked up driving this car to and from work every day. But this isn't a car you're going to relish taking on your favourite road. That soft suspension really doesn't do this car any favours through the corners where it does roll quite a lot, and the steering, it's so light and there's just no feedback. Match that to the slick interior and super comfortable seats, and this is likely to be a car that's really easy to live with. There are 3 drive modes to play with, but the likelihood is you're going to leave those well alone. Normal does exactly what it says on the tin, whereas Sport ramps things up a bit, gives you a bit more response and a bit more performance. Eco does the opposite. It dulls things down a bit to give you maximum driving range. There is also a B mode for the gearbox, so instead of coasting to a stop, it turns on the regenerative braking, which captures energy that would otherwise be lost. It's perhaps not as strong as the setup you'll find in a Nissan Leaf, but as we've mentioned before, we really like this style of driving and it's really intuitive to use. One minor complaint is rearward visibility, because that view from behind is just interrupted by the slice through the window thanks to the rear spoiler. Luckily, our car comes with a reversing camera, so that helps when you're manoeuvring. Citroen says this new C4 has 39 litres of storage dotted around 16 different compartments. Pretty practical then. There's a decent 380 litre boot, as well as an adjustable height floor that enables a flat load bay when the rear seats are lowered, as well as an underfloor compartment for keeping the charging cables tucked out of sight. Space in the back is par for the course in this area of the market, with just enough room for adults on shorter trips. Kids will be just fine. This new Citroen e-C4, despite its similarities with the Peugeot and the DS, just feels like a completely unique proposition. It's cool and it's quirky, while its rivals just feel a little bit too conventional. And we love the fact that this is an SUV with no sporting pretensions. It's just calm, quiet, comfortable and easy to live with. Like the original Nissan Duke, which rewrote the small crossover rulebook, this is a quirky SUV that deserves to succeed in much the same way. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all the latest electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Finally, while you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to ensure you never miss a video.